Welcome back to the O Hockey Show. Now, today I'm obviously talking about the Washington Capitals. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what you clicked on. You're not idiots. That unlike other YouTubers that act like you're surprised when you're like, "Oh, is this what this video's about?" Even though it's literally they spoil everything in the thumbnail and the title of the video. Am I supposed to be surprised by what you're telling me right now? So, anyways, that's a whole other tangent. So, of course, I've started this series about doing what are the worst contracts for every team. So, I started with the Jets. I'm working backwards because W starts with W. Get it? Winnipeg, I started with first. Named him Nate Schmidt. Now, for the Capitals, for the Jets, it was kind of easy. I kind of had an easy time deciding myself what I think was the worst contract. But the Capitals, I gotta be honest, I cannot really find one terrible contract. I looked at everybody, and I tried to come up with some names on this board, and really only one stuck out to me, but it's not even that bad of a contract. So, let's jump into it. So, TJ Oshie, right? Everybody loves TJ Oshie. It's impossible not to. Other than if you're Russia. So, Oshie, just such a lovable guy, just the type of hockey player that you want. Like the story, the guy, the player, just everything going right for him, right? The only thing not going right for him is that he's kind of been hurt and banged up the last couple years. But at the same time, okay, so 25 points in 44 games last year. That's not really the worst thing in the world. That's almost like half. That is half. That's more than half points per game. So, it's not the worst thing in the world. If he ends the season with, let's say, 50 points in 82 games, I would be okay with that, especially for what his cap hit is, $5.75 million. This is the part that kind of hurts him, is that this contract does go on for another 3 years. And the only thing that scares me, so if Oshie was to have played this whole season, and let's say he gets to 54 points, right? It's possible, especially with Ovechkin and stuff, so it's possible. Let's say 54 points this year, right? I mean, nobody would look at him getting 54 points and then $5.75 million and be like, that's a terrible contract. And I don't think anyone really is. I mean, it's the only thing that really hurts him is the fact that he was hurt and then he's still getting paid. Now, the thing that scares me about this deal is the fact that it goes on for 3 more years. So TJ Oshie in 3 more years, the fact that he's been injured for a little less than half the season for the last 2 years. Last season he played 53 games and got 43 points. So not terrible. So I guess last year, 53 games, 43 points. I mean, that's not terrible at all. This year, obviously, you can tell that there has been a shift in points. 25 points in 44 games, that is less. So it does make me question, with the fact that he's missing so many games, he is aging, like that combination of two things, of missing games, not staying healthy and fresh, and getting that ring awareness out, getting that ring rust starting to grow every time you get a little bit more injured and banged up and have to miss time playing. It kind of scares me that this upcoming season, that number might start to suffer. Let's say he can play the full 82 games this upcoming season, right? Unlikely, but okay, let's say 70 games. Let's say he gets to 70 games. I think he could probably get to at least the 40s to 50s. I think he will start to go down a little bit less. But even then, 40 to 50s in points for $5.75 million isn't really that bad of a deal. There's a lot of worse deals out there. So I've been looking at this team, and the only thing that I think hurts him a lot is that this is for 3 more years. Because sure, yes, this upcoming season, let's say he gets to the 40s or 50s. It's okay, whatever. Maybe the next year in 2024, he ends in the 40s, and it's okay. And then the last one, let's say he starts to fall off, and he's in the 20s to 30s. But by then, it's his last year of his deal, and it's kind of well, whatever. It's one last year, and we all love Oshie. So, really, not that bad of a deal. Another deal that I think is kind of is Backstrom. 2025 as well. But he had 31 points in 47 games. So, once again, not that bad. He's that's a point, what? 0.6, 0.7 points per game there. I mean, that's not bad at all. The only thing that scares me about Backstrom is the fact, once again, he's injured a lot. He's really hurt. He's been hurt for a while now. For $9.2 million and for 3 more years, once again, that kind of deal scares me where, yeah, sure, it doesn't look bad now, but in another year or two, that could look really bad. But at the same time, by the time I could really see Backstrom fall off a cliff, like, it might be the final year of his deal, and at that point, it's like 1 year, who cares? He'll retire after this one, right? So, once again, Backstrom, Oshie's deals aren't bad, and I put Ovechkin's on the board because I couldn't think of anybody else. I could have put a guy like Dmitry Orlov, but the thing is that I couldn't find a reason, because even some players, I was like, that's a little bit of an overpayment. I could put it on there, but at the same time, it ends this season. Like, you can't say a 1 year deal is bad for a team. Well, not 1 year deal. Like, 1 year left for any number can't be bad for a team. It's because the team is, as long as the team is still good, obviously you say, like, McDavid, like, like, both his hands are chopped off and he can't play hockey. And, like, that would be terrible, and that would be a bad deal if he had 1 year left or something. But no matter what, I feel like as long as a team is still playable, 1 year for no matter how much, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, if you can formulate a team and you have a guy that only gets 30 points but he gets $7 million, it's like, well, as long as the rest of the team's okay, then who cares? He's going to be gone after this year. We don't have to worry about this moving forward. So I could have put a guy like Orlov, and I was like, there's no real point. A guy like Anthony Mantha, but it was like, he's not really overpaid that much. I mean, it is an overpayment, but it's like not much to be like, that's bad. Connor Brown, like, a maybe. I saw one way I could have twisted it where I could say someone like Dylan Strome is possibly, he has 1 year left, and that's kind of scary because might need a big contract pay raise there, which is an interesting way to twist it, but I didn't want to do that because that could be really stupid. So I gotta tell you, I mean, I've only done 2 teams so far, but the Washington Capitals right now have the best contract situations. I mean, I guess at worst, these two combined could be absolutely terrible. If Oshie does absolutely fall off a cliff and Backstrom falls off a cliff, that could be really bad. But I just don't see, I mean, Oshie I could see start falling off and being in like the 30s or something. But $5 million for 30s, like, there's a lot worse deals out there. Backstrom, I guess if he falls off a cliff and goes to like the 40s or 30s or 50s or something, like, that would be really, really bad, but at the same time, I don't see that happening. And if that does, by the time that does happen, it'll be like it won't be this upcoming year, because is it even going to be able to play this year? And then even after this year, after this year could be bad. If he doesn't play this entire season and then goes on, that could be really bad because he's missed so much time and he's getting older. Those combinations of things are the only things that are making me scared for these guys. But really, in the long run of things, I cannot really see a real big bad deal about these contracts. Maybe just how much time's left, but by the time they're going to catch up and be really bad, they might have 1 year left, and by that point, it's like, who cares? So that's really all I have to say. The Capitals doing a pretty good job. I would award someone with the worst contract, and I guess I would say Oshie, but that's just purely because he's injured, that he's been injured. He might, like, there's no real concrete evidence to say anything about it other than, like, he's been hurt and stuff. So I would say Oshie. If you put a gun to my head and said choose one, I would say Oshie. But I mean, it's really not that bad of a deal. It's kind of like on an all-star team, and you have to choose the worst player. It's like, well, they're all all-stars. You pick the worst guy, he's still going to be better than half the league. So that's really all I have to say about the Washington Capitals contract situation. They're doing pretty good for themselves, I just got to say. So I guess until next time, thank you for watching this video. If you somehow liked it, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you liked it, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below and tell me in the comments, who do you think has the best contract on this team? Do you think, who has the worst contract? Is that what I said? Tell me, who do you think has the worst contract? I'm sure you probably would say like Orlov or something, or Anthony Mantha. But I mean, really, in the long run of things, if you take a look at them, like, those guys aren't doing anything bad. They're doing their jobs. The team's still good. I don't see a reason how I could possibly blame these guys. So that's all I have to say. Until next time, I've been your dapperly dressed host, Owen. And until next time, too sweet. I hope you're having an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.